Hi everyone, now we're going to talk about the next database, which is CINAHL, and that stands for the Cumulative Index for Nursing and Allied Health Literature. You can get to it here on the Find box. If you click on the drop down next to PubMed, you'll see CINAHL, and you can type in a search and click search to go to the database page. You can also go to the Resources tab and scroll down to the CINAHL link here. And lastly, you can go to the guide created for this class, and it'll be the second link under PubMed. So CINAHL has coverage of over 3,000 journals in nursing and allied health literature, and you'll see that it has 17 allied health disciplines that are covered. So this is going to be a good resource for emergency medicine. So let's go ahead and click on the link. And if you haven't logged in through the library, it will ask you to log in at this point. And we're going to use these search boxes to put in the same search that we had in PubMed. And for this search, we're going to go ahead and uncheck the Suggest Subject Terms box, because that's going to try to map our term to a subject term, which is similar to the medical subject headings, the mesh terms in PubMed, but it's one that subject terms that CINAHL uses. But if we leave it checked, it'll get confusing because we're going to have multiple lines with multiple search terms. So because we're doing so many terms at once, it's going to be easier and less confusing to uncheck it at this point. If you're doing one simple term, you can leave that checked and it'll find a subject term for you. But for now, we're going to go ahead and copy our first term here and put it right here. You can leave that or in there because it can read that correctly. And we'll get the second line, and we've got and here already, so we're going to leave that here. And again, the or is fine to leave there in that line. And then we'll put in our last line in the third line. And we've got and in the correct places, the ors in the correct places. We're going to click search and see the results. So here you can see our search results. We have the search that we performed laid out here for us, and then you can see the number of results here, 337. You can also see the number here. So this search results screen is similar to PubMed. If you scroll down, you'll see all the results. You can see the titles, authors, subjects. You can even click Get Full Text from this screen to access the full text through the library. If you don't see this libkey link, you can click on the full text at UT Health essay link. If you click on a title to see the abstract view here, or article view, you can see authors, publication type, source, usually the title of the journal, and then you'll see there's major subjects here. So that's similar to PubMed, where you can click on one of these and it'll search CINAHL for that subject. The DOI is usually listed here towards the bottom. And then again, you can click the full text over here on the left. There's a feature called Find Similar Results, which is similar to the PubMed Find Similar Articles. So if we go back to the results list, you can see here on the left side of the screen, there's limits or filters, which again is similar to PubMed, which calls them filters. Here they're called limits. You can search or change the search by date, by typing in a date or clicking and dragging this bar. You can also limit by language or age and some other options down here. I do want to point out a difference between PubMed and CINAHL here. You'll see it says peer reviewed. So right now we have, you can see these say they're academic journals, but some of them, if you scroll through all of them, might say periodical. So a periodical is not going to be peer reviewed like an academic journal. So if you only want to see peer reviewed, you can check on this limits and see the number has gone down by a little bit. Whereas in PubMed, they're all going to be peer reviewed, and there's no periodical articles in there at all. So that's one small difference. But again, it wasn't a huge number of articles. It was a small number, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Just pay attention to the type of journal that the article is coming from. And if you want to save or email some citations, you can save selected ones to a folder and go to the folder view. And then from here, you can select all. We have 2 in here. And then over on the right, you can print, email, save, or export. So if you wanted to export to a RefWorks or something like EndNote, a citation management, you would use export and choose the right selection on this right-hand side. In this case, EndNote or Zotero, and then click Save to create a file that you could then upload into a citation manager. Or if you wanted to email these selected articles to yourself or to a colleague, you could then type in the email here, select how much of the citation you want to send, and then click Send. So those are ways to share citation information. So that's the end of the CINAHL tutorial. And thank you all for listening. Remember that the guide is here for your use, and you can contact me with my information is here on the left as well.